So labor has now taken you through this incredibly intense journey. You feel like you just can't do anymore. And then you're hit with transition, which is oftentimes the most intense phase of labor. It's usually the shortest phase, but the most intense. And this is where your surges, well, I mean, some might feel like just like explosive. I mean, they're so strong and they're so big, maybe incredibly close together. A lot is usually happening in your body. You're sweating, then you're shivering. This is when you might have a little bit of poop come out, possibly. Some more bloody discharge comes out. You might throw up. All of this stuff might happen at once. And that is okay. And I say that to you because if that all happens, I don't want you to freak out and think that something is wrong with you. I want you to know that you're going through labor. And it's a really intense, sometimes insane experience. So there's so much like condensed into this transition. And the transition is when you're going from 7 to 8 centimeters to fully dilated. At this stage, baby's head is usually fully engaged down in your pelvic region. Things are happening. And this is a big space for surrender. Because I mean, talk about thinking, oh my God, I can't do this anymore. Like I don't even, like, this is crazy. This is overwhelming. Maybe in like the movies when the husband gets yelled at, maybe she's usually going through transition probably. For me, it was so intense, I couldn't even say anything. So it was like all the intensity was in here instead of like, and for me, that allowed me to conserve my energy. For you, the like big sounds might really help, like to get out some of that energy. For me, I had to hold it in. So again, no right or wrong, but know that it's intense. Sometimes I've seen transition be triggered by, say, a woman who was in the bath for a long time and then she stood up after 5 hours and almost immediately she goes through transition. So just be prepared that you might make a move and then all of a sudden it's like, whoa, like just birth, like slaps you in the face, but it's like a really nice, good slap because it's getting you really close to your baby. And so while you are so much closer to your baby, as you're going through transition and after, one thing I don't want you to do is expect your baby to come out right away, because although so much has happened during transition, you still might have a ways to go. Who knows? Your baby might come out in a few breaths or a few pushes, or it could be a few hours. Or your labor might totally slow down after transition and you take a nap for 2 hours. You never know, but be excited and know that the transition, it can be so intense that this is when I've seen women that have these like spiritual awakenings or this otherworldly experience, or they totally check out. I mean, some really interesting stuff happens during transition. So just be open to that. And also don't be afraid if you have this, not just intense physical experience, but it might be an intense mental and spiritual experience as well. Maybe all wrapped up into one. So I'm excited for you to go through that journey. It's crazy, but it's really cool too.